thumbnail was not a joke. I offered my entire Poshmark closet and inventory for just $3 auction starting prices on Poshmark. So before we kind of get into my results and what I thought and my plan going in the future, I kind of want to take it back a little bit and talk about how I got here to make that decision and kind of like what I did to try to make this live show successful. So if you guys don't know me, hello, my name is Amber and I am a part-time reseller. I did run my business for 2.5-ish years, 3 years full-time as a someone who was a full-time reseller, and for 2 of those years I did live shows. And most recently, probably back in October-ish, was when I started slowing down on live shows. And that's because in this new phase of my life, I am trying to not have my whole life be a business, right? So anyways, so if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I will be doing tons of still reseller content, but in a totally different way, and lifestyle, blogging, everything like that. You can come along my journey. So I was a part-time reseller, and I woke up one day and realized that I hadn't been putting time and effort into my business. So I currently work full-time and I'm on this journey to finding myself, which will be like another little vlog. And I've been doing like all of these things and hobbies and building meaningful connections, and a place for the business that I had before wasn't the same. It wasn't there. And I kept putting it on the back burner, I had some things hung up that I needed to photograph and list, but I hadn't gone sourcing in a while. I hadn't done a live show in a few months, and all the items in my actual closet were just sitting. They weren't selling. If you guys don't know, basically with reselling, kind of like any other business, but with reselling in particular, you have to feed the beast. And what that means is you have to be constantly either putting up new listings or reworking your old ones so that it looks like you're doing new ones, to continue to have eBay and Poshmark kind of like promote your items. And the more items that you're usually listing a day will generate more sales for you in the long run. So when I did that full time, obviously I was listing a ton a day, I was having live shows, everything was great. But now that I'm in this different phase of life, things were just sitting there, and I was making an effort to relist items daily, but I wasn't seeing any traction. I was lowering the prices somewhat. I was sending out very aggressive offers every weekend, and it just wasn't giving me the results that I wanted. And you know, I'm paying a lot to have this business still. I'm paying the storage unit fees monthly. I'm paying for software like Vendoo and cross-listing service and things like that. I'm paying for other software for YouTube and things like that, which obviously I'm gonna keep, but I'm paying a lot for a business that wasn't generating me basically any money in the last couple months. And I was like, something's gotta change. So either I make it a priority and I start sourcing again and listing again and making it my life again as a part-time thing, or I figure out a whole new strategy and I let this part of my life go. And so I was talking to my friends about it, and I was like, I'm gonna do something absolutely insane. And they're like, what? And I'm like, I'm gonna just auction off my whole entire Poshmark closet so that I can start fresh. Now, before I did that, I needed to have a plan in place for going forward, because the thing that I didn't want to happen was to sell my whole closet and then what do I do next? You know, that would have been a waste for me. So First was coming up with a new business model, which I did come up with, which will be in another video, but I came up with a business model. Spoiler alert, that business model might fail, but if you know anything about me, I'm all about trying new things, and that holds true in entrepreneurship as well. So I wanted to come up with that. Next was, what do I do for a live show? So I knew that I wanted to go live and at least have some items for sale from my Poshmark closet. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, right? Because I had some designer items in my closet. I had regular bread and butter items in my closet. I also wasn't sure if I wanted to do multiple shows and just do like a 50 item tray and then sell all my items in multiple shows. I had no idea what I wanted to do. Now, I'm talking to my friends, and a lot of them do $3 shows, and I was like, I'm just gonna do a $3 show. And they were like, do not do that. And coming from someone who has done live shows for 2 years, that's the same exact advice that I would give to anybody else who is not used to doing shows, because if you don't have the following built up, every single item is going to go for $3. Honestly, it doesn't matter if you have liquid gold in there. If no one shows up to your show, it's not going to sell. Now, technically, you only need 2 people. You only need 2 people to get a bid war going, so you technically don't need a large amount of people in your shows to have a successful show. But having a $3 show is very risky. And obviously, I've had a ton of them in the past, but I haven't gone live in months. And I knew that it was going to be a risky move, but this was my thought process. I can do what they were suggesting and have a show and start things at my absolute lowest and maybe sell, 20, 25, 50 items. Or I could potentially have a $3 show, risk it, hope that my following that I've built before comes through, hope that my items come through, hope that my personality comes through, and I can have a killer show to blow out my Poshmark closet so I can start over. So those were my 2 options. I was weighing them very heavily. And at first I decided, let's do a $3 show, but I'm gonna load my rack, everything's gonna be in the tray, and then I will have a bunch of them so that I can build momentum. The problem with that was that all of my inventory is in my storage unit, which means I would have to travel every day to go grab the 50, 60 items that I want to put in my tray for that night, load them up, add them to the tray. And I was like, I just want to be done. Like, I want to start over. Like, I am just in this different era in my life, and I just need a blank slate. So I decided to do a blowout $3 show and offer every single item that I had in my closet for $3 starts, which is crazy because I had a ton of designer items in there. I had a ton of new tags items in there. I had a really good amount of items. So let's give you a little bit of stats beforehand. I started with 460-ish items in my closet. So I had already been liquidating. Every week I was sending out offers and relisting my closet monthly. So for the last couple months, I've been liquidating and sending out offers of like 50% on a lot of things. So I did sell a fair amount of items throughout that time. So by the time I did this $3 show, I had around 460 items. I also had a rack that was still in my apartment of recently listed items in like the last couple months because I didn't inventory it yet because I've been putting it on the back burner. And I added all of those to the tray, and I started my show by allowing people to see what I had. So I didn't allow people to request items from my actual Poshmark closet at that time. I just said we're gonna start with the items in the tray. And in the tray, I had some really great items. I had like New Tags Good American, New Tags Free People. I had some really great items on the actual rack. And so I was thinking I would do it as a test. The sun is going down, so sorry. The beginning half of the show, it was a really bad and every single item on my rack went for $3, I would have stopped the show because that is not advantageous for me whatsoever. I'm so happy if people got $3 steals, but I can't have a whole show of $3 because obviously I have cost of goods and things like that. So I used that as a test. As the beginning half of the show, I said you could only request the items on the rack in the tray, and those will all start at $3. There were some amazing items in there, and I was gauging that as a test to see if I wanted to offer my actual Poshmark closet. Okay, so also what I did to prepare is I sent out a mass message on my shoppers, and I went back to like 2 months ago and I selected everybody in, like they either liked something, commented on something, came to a Posh show in the past, anything like that. I made a big comment and, you know, said like, guys, it is 2025. We are starting over. Everything in this show is going to be a $3 start in my closet. Go get your likes in now. And I think that really built momentum. And I'm very glad that I did that. Second strategy was my friend Macy over at Blue Consignment. She has killer live shows. They're all $3 starts. If you guys want to go and follow her, it's Blue Consignment on Poshmark. And she has a Sunday show every Sunday until like 1 o'clock my time, like basically like maybe like 9 to 1 or 10 to 1 or something like that. And she usually has about like 100 people in her shows, maybe a little less, 70 to 80. And so strategically, I was like, I am going to start my show a little bit before Macy ends her show so that she can send me her viewers, right? And so we had worked that up beforehand. That way, at least I knew that I would have some people coming in, and if I could hook them, I would hook them. Now, the thing is though, my message worked in the beginning as when I started my show, I already had like 70 people in my show from myself, marketing myself. So that was fantastic. Okay, so let's get into the show itself. So the show itself, I started at around 2 p.m. on a Sunday. I sent out that mass message. I added all of the things that I actually had here into my tray so that I could show people the items first. I think that's very important because you need to build momentum. You have to build like people already bidding, right? If people are bidding on stuff, they're more likely to bid on stuff that you don't have to show them because all my other items were in my storage unit. So I needed to hook them in by having like a live show at first where I'm showing the items and everything like that. And then since they've already started building or bundling and everything like that, the momentum will carry through into my actual Poshmark closet. So we started the show and it went wild. It was so fun. And so a little bit stats. I was live for almost 6 hours. I sold 345 items. I will put some screenshots on here because I don't know the exact, I don't have my phone with me, but I grossed over $4,000 and I netted over $3,000, which blew my expectations out of the water because I was really nervous that because I hadn't done a show in so long that my average sale price was going to be like $5, like nothing was going to get bid up, but thankfully a ton of things got bid up. I sold a beautiful embroidered denim jacket by a designer brand for $100 in my show. I sold a lot of things in like the $30 to $40 range, a ton in the $20 range. And then I obviously had a lot of $3 to maybe like $15 sales. But those higher price sales really carried me through and helped me propel a really great average for the show. So I'm extremely proud of that show. To be able to make $4,000 or gross $4,000 in 6 hours, that's more than some people's monthly income. And it really showed me the power of live selling. And like I said, I've been live selling for 2 years. I've had really amazing shows. But to do 4,000 in 6 hours is gnarly. And I'm sure some of you who have done live shows have probably done something like that, and it is crazy. So I was really proud about that. And I liquidated 3/4 of my closet. By the time I was done, I had around maybe like a little less than 100 items left, and that was so good. It was such a good feeling. But now came the hard part, which was shipping it all. So I did allow people to bundle as many items as they wanted, and I would pay for that extra shipping. So I actually didn't have to buy as much shipping as I thought I was going to, but one person did buy 85 items. 85 items, and I had to buy them like 10 extra labels. So that was around like $160. So obviously that definitely cut into the profit. Also, I have cost of goods on all these items. A lot of these though are from previous like mystery boxes that I've already well made my money back. So kind of a lot of them had like no cost of goods, but reality, I had cost of goods on everything. So I don't have the exact profit breakdown because I haven't actually done the math exactly on everything that I sold, because I wanted to get the shipping done, because that was the biggest hurdle for me. But it was still a killer show. And yes, I could have gotten a lot more money for those things if I just continued to list and became stayed a reseller and everything like that. But I am extremely happy that that liquidation sale went so well, because it just gave me like confidence in myself of like all the time and effort that I put of building an amazing live foundation, live community came through for me, and they came and supported me, and we had an amazing time for those 6 hours. I was singing, I was dancing, I was life updating, I was, you know, I really enjoy live selling because I have such a big personality, and I love all my community and my following. And so not having that going forward is definitely going to be a bummer, but yeah, it is what it is. Okay, so going forward, like I said, I'm not going to put my new business bottle in here, but I did want to take a few minutes to mourn my business. So I technically have been a reseller now for like 6 years, 5-6 years, but I really didn't get, it was very, very, very hobby for about the first 3. The last like 2.5 years is where I've really tried and made it my career, you know, for a long time. And if you guys are new to my channel, you should watch the video, I'll link it up below, of how I destroyed my reselling business. This last year, reselling has really took a toll on my mental health. And although it is like a dream come true job, for the fact of like, how can you take something that costs $1 and sell it for 100? Like, that ROI in business is extremely rare, like beyond rare. You know, a lot of people are making very marginal amount of money. If you think of grocery stores, if you think of any type of clothing stores, anything that actually sells a good, their profits and their ROI is usually incredibly low. And so reselling is just that rare business that if you can do it right, the ROI is insane. And yeah, I'm very thankful for my business. I am very thankful for the community that I built. I have 5 very best friends from this business that I love and adore, and well, 5, I guess 4, because I'm the 5th person. But I love and adore them, and they have become like so incredibly important to me. And that all came from, you know, live selling mostly, but being a reseller. And I've gained so much business knowledge. I've gained so much patience. I've gained like awareness of my mental health and like what I need to do for myself going forward. I've gained so much from running this business. So to see it go over the last couple months and to see it officially go now has been a really hard journey for me, because I put my blood, sweat, and many, I cannot emphasize that enough, many tears into this business. But I'm excited for the next chapter. So I'm gonna put a little screenshot up here of my total revenue that I've done making this business. And although the number may seem either large or insignificant to other people, I'm extremely proud of that number. That is my gross number. I'm not gonna put my net up, one, because I haven't calculated it for all of last year yet. Taxes aren't due yet. But two, because that's a little bit private, but I'll put my revenue number up, and I am incredibly proud of that number. And I'm incredibly proud to have been in a community that was just so supportive and so loving, and has been with me through breakups and makeups and mental health struggles and happiness and all of these things. And I hope to continue to build, a relationship with you guys over on YouTube. I am going to still do reselling content in a totally new way, but I also am doing some lifestyle content. I'll definitely make a vlog for you guys soon, but I've been doing many things to find myself. I've been going ice skating. I signed up for classes for that, which I'm really excited about. I love ice skating. I went rock climbing. I've been going to the gym. I am just so happy, and I'm going to continue to do hobbies and find things that I love, and continue to build relationships with people and have meaningful connections, and not allow my life to pass me by, because I think for the last 5 years, that's what I've done. Not on purpose, but when you own a business and you're an entrepreneur, it sort of becomes your life. And money is great, and owning a business is incredible. But I'm also 33, and I want to live my life. I want to have fun. I want to have experiences, and I wasn't doing that. And so that is why in 2025, I completely shut down my Poshmark closet, shut down my eBay closet, and yeah, this is a whole new chapter for me, and I hope you guys follow along. I don't know if I've missed anything in this video. Oh, to just talk about shipping for a minute, because I totally rambled, is it took me 2 days to ship, but only about 2 hours each of those days. And then it took me about 2 hours to gather everything for my storage unit, and then maybe another hour here and there. So about 6 or 7 hours, I was able to ship 345 items. And yeah, I'm very proud of myself. I'm very excited for my new chapter, and I cannot wait for you guys to follow along with me. Please, please, please drop down your thoughts down below. Would you ever do a $3 Poshmark closet on your entire show? On your entire closet? Literally so scary, but the adrenaline that I got from it was crazy. All right, guys, I will definitely talk to you in the next one. Bye.